I said be quiet.
You hit that kid again and old Santa Gus is gonna be taking all your presents away.
This is none of your business, old man. And who the hell is Santa?
Now you're being downright naughty. Pete?
Forget Santa, what the hell's a Pete?
Mother!
Oh my God, stop doing that. I will not touch him again. I swear. I don't know what you're saying.
Okay people, welcome back to another Fwoosh review. Today let's take a look at the Amazon exclusive Hasbro Star Wars The Black Series Mandalorian Speeder Bike, Scout Trooper, and the Child, or the Asset, or Baby Yoda, or Grogu. Now I know what some of you are thinking. Hey, this is just 90% reuse in a new paint scheme, and yeah, you're probably right. If you enjoyed this review, comment like, I'm kidding. This is covering a lot of the same territory, but hey, it's the Mandalorian. I dig more weathered paint jobs, different colors, and there's a few new pieces in there. Looking at the package, it's that new style with the color coordination to the shows or movies that the figures go with, but still an elegant Black Series look that we're used to. See everything in the big old window, Mandalorian, speeder bike, Hasbro, logos, choking hazards, don't put them in your mouth. On the sides, some artwork splitting up things between the Scout Trooper, the speeder bike, and the kid. And I just noticed something. They did it right in the artwork, but we'll get to that. On the back, pretty promotional shot of the whole thing, the accessories included. Oh, Target accessory. Little bio of the Scout Trooper himself. Way more warnings. On the other side, just some windows, some more black, some more Star Wars. On the top, same thing, different order, different angle. On the bottom, legalese, UPC, what it includes, figure, vehicle, stand, and 3 accessories. Grogu's an accessory? And then pretty plain instructions on how to insert the new style stand. Anyway, let's get this open, see what's going on here. Okay, it's a little more complicated than just opening it on bottom, so we're going to attempt the pretty side. Or, well, no, I should probably go through this side, huh? It's flatter, less angles to it. Did that work? It did, yeah. Oh, and I wish the background wasn't part of the package. That'd be... Oh, wait. Haha, it's not. Yeah, look at that. That's a nice background to stick on the shelf or in pictures or something. So many ties. That's a weird angle. Hey! Come out. There we go. Taking a look at the Biker Scout first, or the Scout Trooper, or whatever you call it. It is a nice sculpt. It is complete reuse of the Biker Scouts we've gotten before, but there's nothing wrong with that. If it works, it works. Now, there are some nitpicks to be had because this is the version from The Mandalorian, but we'll get to that. But as far as sculpt goes, there is a lot going on in the black parts of this costume. There's wrinkles, there's glove tops, there's straps going across, there's different textures. You can see that on both arms coming down. You can see it on the legs. And because it's all in black plastic with the same sheen, it's easy to get lost unless you get right up on it. But that's not true for the white parts, the armor parts. There is some dirtiness to it. I like the off-white color they went with here. I like a dirty trooper. Oh, baby. The gloss on the abs is distracting as all hell, especially compared to... It's not matte. There's still a sheen to the rest of the armors, but for some reason right there, shiny! I may hit that with some dull coat or something. It almost looks airbrushy, the way they put some of the dust on, and how it accentuates the edges around a lot of the armor pieces. They're Biker Scouts. They're always on the speeder bikes, so a lot of wind is hitting them, knocking it off the high points, but I can see it building up around the edges. Like I said, complete reuse of the sculpt of the first trooper, which is from Return of the Jedi, but you can see some paint differences up there. I like the mouth part better. This is gray and it sticks out and it may be accurate, but this looks more mechanical to me. Also done away with the paint stripes up above the visor. They also didn't paint this vent or whatever this is here, which again, being on a sandy planet and you're traveling at these speeds, it's like being in a sandblaster. Am I justifying things in my head? Hell yeah, it's Star Wars. They did paint the inside of the ears black like the original, but these are lighter and dustier, and then they just didn't put those black stripes on again. Also missing some paint around here, and wow, I never realized how much. Well, they did the back of the elbow pads, but back here on the backpack, But there's some grays, there's some blacks. And then, ooh, look at the speeder itself. It's complete reuse of the first speeder bike we got way back when. Or I guess it also came in that newer Indoor Heroes pack with Luke, Han, and Leia. Not quite as much detail to the knapsack or the bundle of cloth. And the original did have some silver streaks, but here, like in The Mandalorian, they put more wear and tear where the paint is stripping off. Again, that sandblaster effect on the white paint. That just runs all the way down the side, here, everywhere where the wind would hit. But then again, on the engine parts underneath and where that should be metal or some wear and tear, it's just plain plastic. Same thing on the front of the handlebars. You'd think that would be silver too. But the flaps on the back are a different metal color. They're a bit brighter than the middle, so there's a little contrast. There are a few nice punched in paint details like this blue and the grays and a little bit of red. And these red arrows or triangles up front. That's on both sides. And I don't know what this little red streak is here. It rubbed against something maybe? But I also noticed that on the trooper's shoulder pad, that same little red streak or dot. The big difference here is the stand though. And oh yeah. That was the Heroes pack that did come with the stand. I'm not sure if it's used anywhere else, but it's completely different than the original. On that first, you could pop this out and change the height of it, like if you wanted it shorter or if you wanted it shortest, but I always found these a bit unstable. You have to get the bottom set up just right where it wouldn't tumble on you. You had so much range of tilt, and then you could angle it up, angle it way, way down. This new one has a ball joint going up into it, and yeah, well... You can go all the way down. Some tilt up, just some tilt. Okay, it does give you the same range of motion until you pop it off the ball. But I feel like it's a more stable base. You just have less options on height where it goes. But most of the time, these are speeding along the ground, so I'm completely okay with that. I do have a few nitpicks, though, with both the figure and the speeder, and most of it can be fixed. Because the figure comes seated in the package, these tend to be flexed up a bit, and they'll stay that way for a while. I've had this out for maybe 30 minutes, 45, and it does seem to be dropping back down, but as soon as you sit it back on the bike, it's going to flex them back up. That also makes the knee joints bow when you take them off the bike. But again, heat it up, get it straight, because the original also had that problem because it was mounted on the speeder bike, but the archive edition we got of the Biker Scout didn't have that problem because it wasn't on a bike. But if you look at the two Biker Scouts from The Mandalorian, you'll notice some costume changes. The knee pads, they do flip around from Return of the Jedi to The Mandalorian. Not a huge deal, but if those kind of things bug the shit out of you, then you can do something about it. Here is the Archive Edition. I was able to flip the knee pads around, and what you have to do is pop the pins out of the top and the bottom of the knee, flip that whole piece in the middle around, and then pop the pins back in. Unfortunately, that doesn't allow the detents to line up, so it's a smooth motion on top, and on bottom, it gets really, really stuck. In fact, on the left, it's just floppy, but it's more accurate. The other big difference in the Mandalorian Troopers is that it almost seems like the chest armor is higher or this belt thing is lower, so there's some black costume showing through there. And I don't actually like that. It may allow them to crunch over on the bikes a bit more, but I like this look better. Maybe because this has been burned in my brain for 40 years? Who knows? And then for the bike, it's the same thing. Because the Trooper was on it in the package, it's warped in some places, but heat should be able to straighten that out, get this down even with the other one. And it's the same thing for the foot pegs. This one's up because it was tied to the foot. This one on the other side hangs down a little bit lower. But again, heat gun, boiling water, something, hold it up, let it cool off. It should stay up there. Going over articulation, there is a hinge at the top of the neck going up to a ball in the skull. That does look up, tight at the moment. It looks all the way down. Little tilt. Swivel. One thing they did change here was make the shoulder pad a bit more rubbery and only glue it at the bottom. With the original, it was glued all the way up, so you came up to here, it would snag, it would stop. Now the shoulder pad goes over that piece and you can bring it all the way up to 90. Oh, Hasbro, you tricked me. Swivels all the way around. Swivel at the bicep, hidden right at the armor plate line. Double elbow. Oh, all the way up. Blaster holding hand does hinge up and down all the way. And swivels. The left is also a trigger finger hand and it is hinged up and down too. Ball joint at the torso does hula hoop, but because of these pouches right here on the front, you can't really crunch forward. If it was the Mandalorian version, those patches would be further down and you get more range. Ball coming out to the hip comes forward, goes back a little, out, about 45, if that. Swivel at the thigh, double knee comes up. Oh yeah, easy. That's for Grogu. Swivel at the top of the boot, hinge at the ankle goes back, goes way forward, then forward facing pin for rocker. And yep, I'm gonna do articulation on the speeder bike too. This gun on bottom does rotate around, and then these flaps on the back come up a bit. I guess that's neutral position, that's speeding along, or that's backwards. Either or, that moves. I was looking at it and I saw the seam line and I wanted to push this and make it explode, spring-loaded action. And I realized, oh, I haven't had that in quite a while. For accessories, the Scout Trooper comes with this teeny tiny pistol, and getting it in his hand, you put it around the trigger and the middle finger, and even there, you're looking at it like, are you trying to shoot me with that? What's that gonna do? But if you don't want him holding it, you can put it in the boot holster, which I've never had a lot of luck with that. In fact, on the original Scout Trooper, I lost mine to the carpet monster. It was here, and I guess I was jostling the bike around or something, and it ended up falling out. Well, okay, maybe it's tighter now, but... well, okay. I guess it's staying in there. Also comes with this target practice thing, whatever this was in the show. It seemed like it had more colors. This is just in the plain gray plastic. There is a rubberiness to it. Come here. You're not going to break these off. Well, I guess if you kept on. But it seems pretty safe from the Biker Scout himself. And then finally, there is the knapsack with Grogu inside. Soft material for the strap to go up and over the head. This flap does close down and snaps in fairly easy. In fact, this works much better than I thought it would. I love that they painted these details on. You don't see that a lot with an accessory like this. But you pop it open, flip it up, and you get what is almost the head sculpt of the Black Series Grogu. It does have some sculptural differences to it. The one in the bag, the mouth is a bit open. He has a worried look, and then the ears are curving up. If you like that look better, you can pop the head out of the ball joint. Take the standard Black Series head off, pop this one on. It is a little loose. The ball is just a slightly different size. I don't know why they would do that, but it is. But it does stay in, and if you want to pose it around, it stays in place. Will this one go in here? I figure it's gonna be a tighter fit. Oh, well, no, it does go in there. Now to get it out without ripping his face off. And usually with things like this, they don't fit quite right, or they don't hang natural, but you get this in the correct position right there. And the strap's coming across, it's coming over the shoulder, hanging down around the backpack thing, and it looks natural. I would have no problem standing him on the shelf like this with the bag, but he's gonna be on the speeder bike. The Scout Trooper stands at about 6 1/16 or 6 1/8, somewhere in there, inches tall, which looks fantastic with some of the other recent Hasbro Star Wars Black Series troopers from The Mandalorian. I've got to fix that black stripe above the eye, though. That's driving me nuts. If you smell what the trooper is cooking. Here it is with the Hasbro Black Series Beskar Armored Mandalorian, and then the Archive Edition of the Scout Trooper. Again, I flipped those knee pads. A little bigger than the Bandai Model Kit Scout Trooper, but if you're getting impatient for that Bandai SH Figuarts Biker Scout from The Mandalorian, here it is with the SH Figuarts IG-11 and the Beskar Armored Mando. Mando! Fits right in. For the speeder bike, it is 11 inches long, sits about 3.5 inches high, with the handlebars going up to about 4.5, and then width-wise, it's about 2.5 at the back. Here it is with the first speeder bike. Again, it's complete reuse here, just different stands. Here it is with the Bandai Model Kit speeder bike, and honestly, it's the exact same size. The model kit being a model kit, it is a bit more detailed because every little piece is a separate piece, but if you don't want to put something together and then paint it up, because same gripes here, I've never went back and weathered it, so there's some plastic that just sticks out. I actually display the Black Series speeder bikes over this. Here it is next to the Hasbro Star Wars Black Series Dewback, and then the Hasbro Land Speeder. I had to steal the stand for something else. For giggles, here's the McFarlane Toys Fortnite four-wheeler. I can't thing's called. And then the Hasbro Marvel Legends Squirrel Girl on moped. So at the end of the day, this set is a good reminder of how nice that old speeder bike with Biker Scout set really was. Because this is reuse, almost completely. But Hasbro did a good job of updating the paint apps to make it look a bit distressed, and the add-ons here, even though it's just a few small things, it really makes it Mandalorian-centric. Sure, there's nitpicks to be had with the upside-down knee pads, but even Bandai didn't catch that, at least on their prototype. Hot Toys did, though, and they got the gap in the middle of the torso, but some things will bug you, some things won't. The knee pads kind of bug me. The torso thing definitely doesn't, like he's wearing a cummerbund of some kind. This set, for the money, I'm pretty happy with it. Plus, it adds to the Mandalorian shelf. We're just coming off the hype of that, and perfect timing. I thought it was going to be January, but nope, it shows up today. Merry Christmas to me. I love me some troopers, so the Biker Scout is awesome, but the speeder bike is such a toyetic design, on purpose, I know. It's just a nice add-on for the shelf. It's not too huge to get in the way, even though it's horizontal, so it takes up some real estate. You can angle it in ways to where it's not taking so much. It's sticking out from the shelf maybe, and every time you walk by, you're going to knock that off, but at the same time, I'm not going to complain. I love this thing. If you enjoyed the review, comment, like, subscribe. Much love to the plus. If you're interested in seeing videos early or just in a position to help out the channel, patreon.com. But wherever you may be watching this, I'll always catch you on the Fwoosh. Like I said several times, I flipped the knees on this archive edition of the Scout Trooper, but I think I've talked myself into buying a second set because you've got to have the speeder bike too and the dustiness. But the looseness that comes with the knees of flipping it around, if you keep them on the speeder bike where they were the majority of their appearance in The Mandalorian, it's not a deal breaker. I've talked myself into a second set.